So a few times people have said I'm like Joe Biden, and sometimes because I kind of have to take the spot. I put myself in the spot because that's what a politician you have to do. You have to put yourself in the spot because you can't read off notes. Like again, I have a few notes here of different things, but you can't read. Again, I don't believe that you should be reading off notes. You should think for yourself, think up in your mind, and use your brain. Instead of having to rely on notes and things. Like obviously, Joe Biden uses a teleprompter and he probably writes his notes and things like that, and his aides help him out and everything. Like it's people who help him, the people, his conductors or whatever, his handlers or whatever you want to call them. But yeah, I do admit that sometimes I be like him because sometimes he does forget and he goes off topic and he messes everything up. He just doesn't know what to say. I do admit sometimes I do, and I do repeat myself sometimes. I'll be totally honest with you. Because it's not easy. It's not easy. You think about you try and you're talking with the camera and try and remember everything you're supposed to say. It's not easy. It's not easy for the rest of the people. It's really, really not easy. And again, you have to try and remember everything. That's the hardest part. And to try and put it into sentences and trying to make it sound right and make it sound correct. It's very, very difficult. And obviously that shows a good politician, because again, if a member of the public comes to you in the street and says, what you going to do about that pothole down the road, you can't just go and say to your aide or your secretary, give me notes and I talk to this person. You have to say, you have to use your brain, you have to use your mouth. Then you'll be like, I talk to the local authority and see what I can do, and I'll get back to you. What's your number? X, Y, and Z. How long is the pothole been there? Is there any more likely than the area? X, Y, and Z. Again, if you had your secretary come along and write up an article on what to say to this woman, and say if she asked about the potholes, I don't know what but again, it is hard. I'm not gonna lie to you. It is hard. It's difficult for me to remember everything. Even if I write things down, like half the things I can't make out what I say. To be totally honest, just sometimes it's like doctor's writing. To be honest, I can barely make out sometimes my own writing. Again, it's good to laugh at these things. It's really, really good to have a laugh at yourself. Because it's good to laugh. It's good. It really produces good hormones and it produces good vibes in your body. So it's good to see that. Because there's very little laughter in the world nowadays. But again, yeah, off topic. Again, it wasn't a Joe Biden. But again, it is hard, and in fairness to any politician who takes straight off the mind and doesn't use a teleprompter or notes or anything like that, they would know themselves it's not easy, especially if there's loads of people looking at you when you're speaking. It's pretty daunting. It's really, really daunting. And sometimes you would repeat yourself, even if some people, that's how you know they're not using notes or anything like that, because they repeat themselves. Oftentimes you see people who don't use notes repeat themselves. So I was at a wedding once, even though it's different, but he didn't use notes. This bride's father didn't use notes, the way to speak after the wedding. He didn't use notes, and he often went over the same thing again and again because he didn't use notes. He was thinking it in his mind. Because it does seem more pure. It is more pure, and it's more, you're using your brain, you're using your mouth, you're using your heart. It's coming from your heart, and it's coming from your soul. It's more heartfelt, I suppose. That's the word you use. Because again, if you put in a piece of paper, I could sit here for the next 6 hours, and write up about tomorrow. Take for example, and go on the roast of fucking, I don't know what would you say? Who would you say? Leo Farco, right? Let's go for Leo Farco. Blame Leo. And I'm just writing a big thing here, a 9-page essay on what I should say about Leo and how much I hate Leo and X, Y, and Z. But again, it doesn't sound as hefty because you thought about it, you already written it down. If you, again, I come on to these nearly blind. I look up the information I need. And obviously I don't really write it down. You'd barely see me here with a page in front of me. Because I do have to I have to try and remember it. And it's difficult because again, you're thinking about 101 things at once, and again, the human brain thinks about so much things at once. It thinks about what's happening tomorrow, what am I doing tomorrow, what's happening at the moment. You might be watching a YouTube video before that, and you might be like, oh, I remember that YouTuber, and you might be thinking of something funny. And again, these are all the things that do affect your train of thought. And we'll interrupt you, and this has interrupted me before. funny meme I seen. And it interrupted me. Actually, interrupted me. I stopped dead in my tracks before one of my videos. Because I thought about it, I was kind of laughing. Because I don't know why it randomly came into my head, and I lost my train of thought, and I looked like a bollocks, to be totally honest with you. But again, that's the thing. It's more hard for it to compare to these generic politicians. I apologise unreservedly. I love the way they always usually say these politicians. I apologise unreservedly. Again, what does that mean? I don't know, but apparently NGOs write them for it. But anyway, so yeah, I live there. So thank you for watching. Take care, everybody, and bye.